Today I'm going to show you how to shoot a stop motion animation using your cell phone. Alright, first you need a cell phone. It can be an Android, it could be an iPhone, just as long as it has a camera on it. Next, you need a tripod or something to hold your phone steady. It can be anything like a GorillaPod or some small tripod like this. It can be a large tripod that you'd put your DSLR camera on. But you need some way to hold your phone steady because even though you might be holding it as still as you possibly can, in stop motion animation, it's going to capture every single little movement that you're doing. It's not going to look good. The next thing you need is a light source, and this could be the good free sun that comes from the sky. It can be a lamp or it could be studio lights. You need some way to kind of light your scene, and you want it to be steady lighting. You don't want to use a flash in this case. So the sun is free, it works great, but the downside of the sun is it works against you because it's constantly changing. You know, the sun's going across the sky, clouds can come over, make it dim the light. So if you're going to use sunlight, work quickly. If you're going to use a lamp or some kind of light with an incandescent bulb, it works okay, but it's going to make your lighting kind of yellow looking, which you could fix in software, but it's easier just to get it nice and right while you're shooting it. So try to use some decent lighting and really fill your scene with the light. The final thing you need is a prop to animate. This can be a cup of coffee, it could be car keys, it could be a hairbrush, it could be a makeup compact. Something that's inanimate, something that won't move. Don't try and use like a ball or something that's going to be rolling around the table. Use something that's solid and is going to stay still. So first, when you set up your shot, you want to compose it all, get your scene just right, how you want to start it. And you might want to kind of play around a little bit to make sure that you're going to be in frame the whole time and where you're going to be animating's in the frame. So get that set up first. So compose and get your camera all set up. Then get your lighting right and make sure your lighting's going to be hitting your subject. If there's shadows, you may want them. If not, try and bounce the light. Get your lighting set up right before you start shooting. Then start animating. Now the thing is, most stop motion animations are anywhere usually from like 10, 12, 15 frames per second, which means you're going to have to shoot that many pictures for every second of animation that you want. So for example, if you want a 5-second animation and you're going to shoot 10 frames per second, so you're going to shoot 50 pictures total. Just keep that in mind. Now here's a little tip. The more you move the object in short spans and the more pictures you take, the smoother your animation is going to be. If you make longer movements and less pictures, it's going to be more choppy, but it's all depending on what you want in your animation. Some people want it to be more choppy and kind of fun. Some people want it to be really smooth and animated, so try what you like and have fun with it. Now when shooting, you want your camera in manual mode. And iPhones, Androids, they can all do this. You just have to go into your settings and make sure and put everything in there as manual. You don't want auto stuff because when it's auto and it's constantly adjusting for the scene, you may have your object in focus in one point, out of focus in another, maybe brighter in one frame and darker in the other. So you want everything to be manual so you can set your settings and lock it in to keep it from changing. So the first thing you want to keep consistent is your f-stop or your aperture. Next is your shutter speed. You want that to be consistent. So if you're going to shoot at 100 or 200, keep it consistent. Then you also want to keep your ISO consistent. So choose one and keep it, ISO 200, keep it like that and lock it in at that number. Finally is the white balance. And so you want to either set a white balance on your camera if it has that ability to do a custom white balance. If not, probably in your phone, it most likely it doesn't. Then you want to choose either, for tungsten or sunny, but you want to choose one of those settings so the lighting will always stay consistent and won't flicker because it'll create a flickering effect. All right, so here is my setup. I have my Google Pixel 2 XL with my little bendy tripod here. And then I also have just a 50mm prime lens as my prop. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here so you can see the screen and I'll show you my settings. So the first setting we want to change is the AF and AE lock, or what is AF is autofocus, AE is auto exposure. So to do that, I want to get a good focus on and exposure on my prop. So here I got my prop. I'm going to go ahead and tap to get a focus on it. I can adjust my exposure here by sliding up and down. So I don't want it too bright, but right about there. And I'm going to hit it lock to lock it. So now it shows my autofocus and my auto exposure both locked. The next thing I need to do is set a white balance so it doesn't change. Right now it's on auto, and so that way it's going to constantly fluctuate, which I don't want. So I can choose any one of these, cloudy or sunny. Let's change it to fluorescent. So now I can start shooting my stop motion animation since those things are set and locked in. Now I'm ready to start animating. So I go ahead and take a photo. I'm going to move my prop just a little bit. Take a photo. Just a little bit. Take a photo, and keep repeating this process. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video. That way you don't have to watch me do it all. And the reason that we set the autofocus, the auto exposure, and the white balance is because if we don't, there will be inconsistencies in the stop motion animation. You'll have a lot of flickering and weird light that will change. So we want to lock in those settings so we keep it consistent in every single photo. So now that you have all of your photos taken, it's time to put them together in an animation. Now there are some apps out there that you can use to take stop motions on your phone, but sometimes they can be limiting or you have to pay for all the extra features. But there are also online solutions out there. And one of them that I have found and used personally myself is Kapwing.com. Kapwing is free to use, and it's free to use for all of their video editing tools on their site. Although I typically use software to do a lot of my stop motion animations, I have used Kapwing before. I had a client one time, I was out of town, I didn't have my computer with me, I was going to just be shooting photos, and then the client decided they wanted a stop motion animation. So I went on location where I was at, shot a bunch of photos for my stop motion animation, and then realized, how am I going to put all these together? So anyway, I Googled online stop motion animation software and found Kapwing.com. I was able to upload all my photos, do a couple little tweaks and edits to it, export it out as a video format. I paid the $6 to remove the watermark because it was for a client. It worked awesome. So I was really happy with the service. So I recommend it if it's something you want to use. All right, so I am at Kapwing.com right now in my browser. I'm logged into my account. You can see here on their homepage they have a ton of different options, but for this tutorial creating the stop motion animation, we're going to go ahead and choose Video Montage Maker. On the page here you'll see there's just a quick how it works. We're going to go ahead and click Get Started. And over here to your left, you have the montage option. So this is going to be in 1:1 square format, which is what I want. I'm going to leave the zoom and crop as my default. And for the image duration, its defaults at 1 second, which will typically be kind of slow on most animations. So I'm going to do the 0.2 seconds for this one. And also, since I didn't take a ton of photos, it would be really slow going frame by frame. So I'll keep it quick at 0.2. So the next here, I just got to upload my files. So let me go ahead and click this, choose the files from my computer. You can see here I went ahead and put these in sequential order, so that way it'd be easier for me to find them. I kind of recommend doing that. It'll make it a lot easier for you. So I'm going to go ahead and select my 18 files here, open, and it will quickly upload these into Kapwing. All right. And now the only thing is when I import them in here, it does not do it in the order of my files. The only way to work around this then is I can click and drag and move these around like this. You can also remove them using the button over here to the right. So let me go ahead, I'll rearrange these quickly, and I'll speed through it so you guys don't have to watch me do it. Okay, so I have my files in order. Let's go ahead and play this up here and just see how it looks in the viewer over here. All right, they're all in order. I do see a little bit of an exposure issue, which I believe I didn't get it locked in at the very beginning, so it switched from bright and then it got dark for the rest of them. But that's all right. We're just doing a demo here, so let's go ahead and click Create. And it'll start processing the video. You'll see that it's pretty quick, so it doesn't take long at all for it to process. All right, there it is. Here it has my animation ready. I can go ahead and download it. If I want to pay the small fee, I can remove the Kapwing.com watermark down at the bottom right corner. If not, I can just download it and use it.
If I want to edit it, I can go back and click edit. It'll take me back to the previous screen where I can rearrange or maybe remove some frames if it's too long. Other than that, it's super simple, as you can see, and really easy to use. And if you don't mind the watermark, it's totally free.
I highly recommend using Kapwing.com, especially for beginners, but it's also great for intermediate users and pro users as well. All right, so that is my tutorial on how to make a stop motion animation using your phone. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any comments or questions, leave it in the comments section below. Please subscribe to the channel as well. That helps me out. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button below and turn on the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching. See you guys later. Oh wait, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at TomWinnaConnect. Thanks.